Just getting started with our presentation regarding copy trading with Robo Forex. So what I want to start with is a very important thing. If you haven't gotten a screenshot of this, I would encourage you to do so. It's a very important document, which is a risk disclaimer. And in short, I won't read it to you, but you can get a copy with your a screenshot or with your phone if you wish. Trading is risky. Anybody that's getting into trading, the reason that there are returns, the like of which you'll see here shortly, is because there is risk. If you want no risk, go to your bank, but then, you're probably going backwards on your money when you consider the percentage of inflation against the actual return that you're getting at your bank. It's very safe in most cases, depending on the size of the deposit and whether it's insured. But you don't get a really robust return without risk. And there is risk in any type of trading, including Forex trading. And you should never, ever risk money you cannot afford to lose. In other words, make sure that when you're doing this, it's not reaching into the cookie jar for the money that is earmarked for the rent, for the groceries, for the mortgage, whatever it may be. Always heed that, because that's the most important thing I think that we have a responsibility to share with people, because sometimes people will do things that aren't sensible with regard to risk, and that can hurt you. So we want to help people avoid that. And then you have good outcomes. Everybody's happy. So with that said, for those of you that don't know me, my name is Robert Burns. I am 65 years old, officially in the senior citizen category. That's hard for me to even get out those words. I'm married to a lovely woman named Anna. She and her daughter Alexandra were from Romania originally. They're now dual citizens, US citizens and Romanian citizens. My son and I are just US citizens, Robbie and myself. And I actually, as we speak, am not where I normally am, which is in the Seattle, Washington area of the USA. I'm in Romania. And we're visiting our daughter, who just gave birth to a healthy baby boy. She and the boy are just great, and we're having a lot of fun visiting them. One question that I'll just address right off the bat: what is a US citizen doing here in Robo Forex? Well, the answer is, because my wife is a Romanian citizen and my daughter is a Romanian citizen, they can play. If it were just me as a US citizen, I would not be able to, because it's not available to US citizens unless they have a family member that is a dual citizen, or a friend or a colleague that has a different colored passport. For fun, I'm into fly fishing and bass guitar. I hope to do some fishing out here while I'm in the area of Romania, especially on the Danube Delta. They've got some great big northern pike, which are fantastic. Into the business part, my professional resume is one that involved decades in the real estate business. I love real estate. I also, in the early 2000s, got into trading, and I've kind of been in and out of trading, candidly, where I never found something where I could really hit my stride with it. And I'm really working at that, and both in Forex and in crypto heavily these days. And if there's a big downturn, I look to do more investing in the real estate business. It's very cyclical, just like Forex and crypto has red and green candles, so does real estate. They're just longer charts on the real estate market. And additionally, we're into internet marketing and team building. That's something I've been doing since my hair was a different color, since the late 80s, and enjoy that a lot. That's a fun part of this business. We'll touch on that with what we're going to do today. What I want to go over with you in regard to the trading is, what is copy trading, why this broker has a lot of solidity, how you get your money out, my personal favorite topic. Well, maybe compounding. I mean, that's kind of a dead heat between those two. What I want to start with, though, what is copy trading? Copy trading is just about as passive as it gets in trading. What does that mean? That means you put money into an account, you get registered, you get verified, which means you've got to put in your ID, put in your address verification, the country you're from, and so forth. And once you've gone through that process, then you're able to fund your account, and then get together with the person that invited you here and discuss with them, what your risk tolerance is. Are you low risk tolerance, high risk tolerance, somewhere in the middle? That's very subjective, and everybody's different. But once you do that, then they'll try to tailor a number of recommendations on traders. And when doing that, you then choose ideally 2 or 3, maybe 4 traders. And that gives you some diversification, maybe perhaps more. I mean, the more you have, if they're good traders, the more diversification, you're mitigating some of the risk just by diversifying. And those traders may be human traders, they may be robotic traders. As far as the strategies, there are good ones in both, there are bad ones in both. But our job is to help you be successful, because if Robert Russell is using a trader and he likes him, I listen carefully, because he's very selective about the traders he recommends. I want to try to do the same thing. In other words, when I'm referring somebody to a trader, I have money with that trader, or I wouldn't be referring them, my own money. That means I'm keenly interested, for obvious reason, in the outcome. Is that trader doing well? Are they doing what they say they're going to do? And once you have a few of those traders, basically you've got everything set up, you've chosen the traders, the trading is happening. It's just go in as often as you wish to take a look at things, but you don't really have anything else to do. It is passive. It is as passive as it gets. It's very, very powerful, because here I am traveling. I'm on a different continent in Eastern Europe, and my trading account, I'm not as attentive to it while I'm here. I'm not. I'm enjoying a vacation with my wife. And by the way, yes, I'm doing some business. I'll be doing that today, and then we're going out tomorrow. And you won't hear hide your hair from me tomorrow when we're out visiting our daughter and her husband and the baby. And so it's nice to have income that comes in. Some very wealthy people said, if you don't learn how to earn money when you're sleeping, you're going to have to work your whole life. And I really heeded that advice, and I continue to. In other words, is your money making money for you while you're asleep? We have a way to do that. And if you're interested in that, we can show you how that works. As far as the broker itself, I was just knocked out with this broker before I met Robert Russell. Robert Russell somehow popped up on my timeline one day, and I said, here's this good-looking Irishman, and what is he? Oh, it's that broker RoboForex that I had already thought good things about. Huh. I wonder what he's up to. Well, the rest is history. He showed me what he was up to. I was intrigued. I knew I could get it because, my daughter and my wife are dual citizens. And so me being a US citizen in that case wasn't an issue. This broker has some really, really excellent stats. One of which is, get this, 4.5 million people use this broker. It's been in business way over 12 years. It's got clients in 169 countries. It's regulated in the country of Belize by their regulatory body called the FSC. That's a country I've not visited, but I've been close in Yucatan Peninsula in Mexico. It's a very cool region to visit. And lots of financial institutions are in that region in Belize. Excuse me. Additionally, they have put in place, not RoboForex, but a coalition of different brokers put in place a thing called the Financial Commission. What's that? That means that you've got a group of brokers they're very capable, very good quality brokers that said, you know what, why don't we provide an independent body that if there is a dispute with any one of the member companies, we will have an independent arbitration organization that will then help solve that dispute. If it's in favor of the client, then the client will be compensated up to 20,000 euros. So that's a pretty big statement about they want to play fair. They want to have an independent body that determines whether somebody's complaint is valid or not. And that's about as straight up and straight shooter as you can be from my vantage point. I like that. What does RoboForex offer? Of course, Forex, cryptocurrencies, stocks, indices, which is indices are a favorite, certainly of mine. I think I'm safe in saying with Tony and with Robert Russell and some of the other folks here, the leaders here, that is like the Dow Jones Industrial Average, the top 30 US companies, the top 40 German companies, that's the DAX, also called the German 40, or German 30 is the old name. It's actually they've added 10 more. There's a UK 100, there's a NAS 100. UK is the top 100, I believe they're tech companies in the UK, and the NAS 100 for sure they're tech companies. That one I'm more familiar with. It's a US indices, the NASDAQ. So those are some things that are the major items. Additionally, there's ETFs, exchange traded funds, soft commodities, things like cocoa, coffee, sugar, wheat, etc. Energies, not surprisingly, oil, natural gas, ethanol, and so forth. And then metals is a topic area that really should not be on this slide. It should be on the previous slide because it's not on trial. This says these are being trialed. It's not on trial. Gold is here to stay, and especially in times of economic challenges, you see gold. We recently hit I'm pretty sure an all-time high. If not, it was darn close. So it's testing some real ultra limits these days. And one of the things when independently investigating this company that I stumbled on was these accolades that are out there in the marketplace that talk about RoboForex and how good this broker is. So I won't read all this stuff to you, but you can do your own due diligence, and you'll, I suspect, discover the same thing, which this broker is well thought of. They do a good job. Now, what I want to get into now is information on the traders and show you what some of the traders' results look like. And this is something, this list of things that you see here is an evolving list. We are constantly sharpening our axe. And again, keep in mind, if we're recommending a trader, if Robert Russell is recommending a trader to me, this is a trader he's using. Well, he's human. Has he had some traders that didn't work out? Yes, so have I. But the majority of the traders are really good. And I know this for sure. He's using the trader. He has his own money with the trader. Therefore, if there's something he doesn't like, he's not going to be shy about saying, hey, pump the brakes with this guy. Or this one over here is good. I like that. I like having people that I'm working with have skin in the game. In other words, they want to make sure that when they're making a recommendation, they're doing it on the basis of this is how it's worked for me with my own money. And I know that if it's going well, they'll say that. If it's not going well, they'll say that because they don't want to lose customers. They want to smile on the client's face. This list you see here is our attempt at the criteria, some of the criteria that we use when choosing traders. One of which is a tight stop loss. That's important. Drawdowns. The drawdown is when you have an unrealized loss, a floating loss. It becomes realized when you close the trades, but you don't want big drawdowns. That generally, it's risky. And there's a balance between the drawdown amount and the return, and this gets into your risk tolerance. But if you want high return, you have to be willing to tolerate some drawdown. The trick is, can you get a trader that gets good returns and has low drawdown? That's ideal. Past performance is a good indication, but not the tell-all, because markets change, like what's just happened with the U.S. dollar the last week or two. It's been on a roar. It's roaring. It's on a tear. So everything that has the U.S. dollar on the other side of the pair, the dollar's been punishing everything in the market. It's been crazy, and we're ready for it to reset and correct. But past performance, is an indication. The classic disclaimer saying is past performance is not an indication of future results. That is true, but it can give you at least an indication. The winning ratio is important, although you can make a ton of money with a 50% win ratio, as long as the risk management is good. So there's all kinds of things that aren't as they seem here. Do they have a Telegram channel? Are they communicative? If you've got a question, are they going to respond to the question? These are things that are nice to know. How many trades do they take? How many total investors? Most of the time, the traders these days are reluctant to disclose who they are because there have been issues of threats and so forth when things didn't go right with certain traders. And the traders generally are not necessarily disclosing who they are. There are some exceptions to that. We're working with a fellow named Nick, who is a very likable guy and a good trader, and he does. But he's the exception, I think, these days. Many traders don't disclose for good reason. They just don't want to have the grief of, something. They have a bad hair day. They don't want to have their name out there and have people hassling them. So here is a trader, and this is a system that I want to discuss with you just really quickly. This is something called MyFX Book. What's that? MyFX book is a system that tracks trading metrics. And you'll see a few things here that will pop right off the page. This is probably impossibly small, and I apologize for that. But a couple of things: track record verified, trading privileges verified. That means it's a real account. When you see these two green check boxes, okay, and you also see the gain. You also see the daily gain. This one is a bit higher than it probably will be as it has more time. This just started on May 24th, this particular account. This is trading with the trader that I mentioned. And I hope he keeps on this track record, because I'll show you how powerful that is. But even half of that, it's still an enormously powerful number over time. It's about the consistency with which you can get the daily percentage to perform. And this shows you all kinds of things like what was the profit today, the profit this week, the profit this month. Now, of course, there was no trading today because it's Saturday. The trading is from Monday to Friday. But you start to get a sense of how this trader is performing very quickly, and it tracks everything, the good, the bad, and the ugly. It will show you Sharp ratio. It will show you all kinds of metrics like what is the average trade length, what is the drawdown. Here's a trader that's getting a 4.4% drawdown with this return. If he could keep these numbers, and he probably won't. It'll drop down because he had a couple of good days. Maybe he has some days that aren't as good. But you get the idea. This is how you start to evaluate traders. Here is a robotic trader that we're fond of. This one has been here since April 13th, 0.84% as of when this screenshot was taken, which is a 19% monthly ROI. And at this time, a 3.84% drawdown. The drawdown with this particular robotic trader went up quite a bit. It's typical with some robotic systems. I'm not overly concerned about it, but it does have a bit more drawdown because of the way that it's trading. Here is, I'm not sure which one this is. Here is a trader, 12.82%. This is since April 4th. The monthly amount was 7.59, drawdown 7.36. You start to get the idea. This is a system that we're very fond of as far as tracking and being able to help evaluate traders. This is a graph, and this is something that's available in your back office also, mind you, that is very, very powerful. It allows you to see the performance graphically. And this is a trader who's doing very well. What you do want to see also is some little dips down, little ones, little tiny teeth in the graph. This is ideal, but you also don't be put off if you see a little bit of now and then little losses. What you don't want to see is a great big white, like Jaws came along and took a bite out of the pie. That you don't want to see. But this is a good looking graph. This is a graph that's of a trader that is performing very well. Here is another one. This one I think it's the same one. This is 0.89%. 26% monthly. That was a little rosy. It's probably more like 19 or 20 now. It's adjusted somewhat, but here this shows you there's a weekly return, monthly return. This is on an amount of $1,152, and the annual, is clipping along at 26%. So this person put in 1152. Their account is worth 1424.62 now. Now, pretty good outcome by anybody's measure. So the other thing that's critical with a broker is how do you get your money in, and more importantly, how do you get your money out? You have, and one of the things I really like about this whole process is you never ever lose control of your money. Your asset is always under your control with no exception. There's no, I've got, ask permission or, any of those kinds of things. You can get your money whenever you wish. It's your money. And in most countries, Visa and MasterCard is available. There are some exceptions, AstroPay and ADV Cash. I'm not sure what those are. I don't use them. Skrill, NetTeller, or some other ones, depending on the country. Crypto in many countries is available. And so you'll have to find out with people that are in the country that you're from, what payment systems are in place, both for making deposits and making withdrawals. But the thing that I really like about Robo4X is they're quick, they're flexible. Here is some examples Robert Russell did, and this is a great example, which is here's crypto. So he made and this was as of May 6th, crypto withdrawals, bank wire, directly with the bank. I think there's a minimum number there, which Robert could shed light on. I think this is probably the minimum. It's a little bit more than you have with either crypto or with Visa, MasterCard. But you can see he's using the whole gamut here. He's got Visa, MasterCard. He's got wire transfers, crypto, demonstrating that there's a lot of flexibility with how you get your money out. Again, depending on the country that you're in, there may be more or less. Some additional history of operations in making withdrawals. Now, this is my favorite part of this whole thing. Compounding is something that's really, really key. And I'm going to move this up here because this is important to visit this again. What I'm about to show you, people get pretty excited when they see compounding, especially if they've not seen it before, because it's such an eye-opener. But again, important to reiterate, trading is risky. Your results will vary and are not guaranteed. Please get a screenshot of this slide because this will help you understand that we've repeated this more than once, that never risk funds you cannot afford to lose. It's very important to remember that because people see this, they get excited and then they maybe put too much money in or their expectation level is too high and so forth. So with all of that preamble, let me get over here to the calculator and I'm going to get this to you right now. What I'd like you to do is take a look at what I'm going to send you on Zoom and specifically click on the link that you see in here because then after we're done, you'll have that available to you in your web browser and you can bookmark it. You can favorite place it. So I've just sent that via chat. Go ahead and take a minute, click that compounding calculator, then you'll have it on your system when we're done. And what I want to show you is how this thing works, and then you'll have a sense of what's here. So what I want to do is I want to start with a principal amount of $1,000. Okay, now how much money can you trade with in Robo4X? Well, with many traders, the answer on that is you can trade with $100, but you might get a return. Well, let me back up. The percentage return that you get on $100 or $1,000, $10,000 or $100,000 or $1 million, all will be pretty much the same percentage. Okay, but if you get a 3% return on $100, that's $3. Now, I had a sausage sandwich at McDonald's this morning, and I'd need more than $3 to buy said sandwich. Right? In other words, $3 wouldn't be a meaningful number for many. Would it be a number, however, that you could test the water and see how the thing works and go, okay, I like this, or not for me, whichever works for you, that's fine. But you don't have to put in a lot of money to test the water. What happens though is most of the time people put money in, they go, okay, I like how this is working. And then magically they find more money with which to invest. What I want you to consider is let's assume that you do a test and you go through it if you're new and you say, okay, I've tested the water. I like this thing. Now, what's the number that you're going to put in? And I'd like you to type that number in chat. In other words, what do you think is a number you'd start with once you've gone through your test? Okay, what is the principal amount that you'd like to be trading with? And we're not going to hold you to it if you change your mind. We're mainly just having some fun here because you'll see with this calculator, it's pretty wild. So go ahead and type that in. And while you're doing that, I'm gonna show you a couple things here. One of which is this interest rate right here. I'm going to put 0.8. That's 0.8%. It's a daily return, not a weekly, not a monthly, not an annual return, but daily. And when you see how compounding works, the higher the frequency, the better. I'm going to say 1 year and include all days of the week. No, we need to figure out which days of the week. because remember, Forex trades Monday through Friday, not Saturday and Sunday. Crypto trades these additional days, but Forex is the 5. So I'm going to leave it on the 5. And now, what do you think this $1,000, excuse me, at a 0.8 return, what is that going to generate? What do you think? Type in your guess. What do you think the number is? Type that in chat if you would, please. What is that going to generate? Okay, so a few people have said they wanted to start with 1,000. Cool. $8,000 from Matt Cox. Okay. Any other numbers that you think? A different number than what Matt Cox has. 10K. I feel like an auctioneer here. I see 8K. I see 8K. Okay, we got 10K. 10K. All right. Here we go. Drum roll. Bada bing. Bada boom. Calculate. 8K would be the winner. The closest is Matt Cox. You win the prize as far as estimation. Your $1,000 in 1 year would turn into 79.3850. You have achieved a 693% return. Try to get that from your bank, right? I mean, they'd look at you like you were from Mars. Whoops, clicked on the wrong thing there. Hang on. It's an amazing thing. Every time I see this, I just, it's just this kind of bewilderment at how powerful compound interest is. And I'll play with a couple of examples here once my Skype disappears. There. So remember, I started with 0.8%, not even 1% a day. We have traders that are achieving this, several that are achieving this regularly. In fact, in some cases, 2 or 3 times this. Am I representing you're going to get 2 or 3 times this number? No. Might you? Maybe. But I don't want to tell you, oh, yes, you're going to get this or that. That would be, nobody knows what the market is going to do. So I have to be very careful about what I'm showing you here. But if a trader you chose got 0.8%, this is math. It's very straightforward. This calculator just works with math. So here's what's crazy. We all saw this number down here of almost $8,000. Watch what happens if I change this just 0.1% and go to 0.9. Okay. Remember, almost 8,000. Calculate 10,273. How about 0.1% more? Let's get up to 1% per day. Is that achievable? Yes, it could be, depending on who the traders you choose and monitoring them and, getting good diversification. But we have traders that are doing this regularly. In some cases, as I said, more than that. Look at that, 0.1% more. We went from 8,000 with 0.2%, meaning 0.8 to 1%. It's a $5,000 delta, guys. That's just how cool this is. Now, how do you reduce your risk in this process? Well, one of the things you can do with this calculator is it shows you your total, your earnings. Not surprisingly, there's not a lot left in May, so it's not going to be a huge number here. $30. Then in June, 252 at that rate, 298, 406 by August, and you get the idea. Compounding is working. How much money did you put in? You put in $1,000. Look right over here, somewhere between here and here. When you get to $2,000, here's something you might consider. Pull $1,000 out and you're now playing with profit. You have completely reduced your risk to zero, other than the time investment to engage. Might you do this along the way? Yeah, you could. Notice here, it's about, let's see, let's not count May because we're just about done, but 1, 2, 3, 4. At the end of the 4th month, at the end of September, before then, actually, you would have doubled your money and then some. So you could pull $1,000 out here and have 1,400 in principal left. You're playing on the house's money. Okay, now, what happens if you say, no, I want to do it more quickly, Robert. I want to get this thing, I want to reduce my risk completely. I want to take it as I go. Okay, your money, your call, you can do as you wish. To do that, you would come over here to daily reinvest rate, scroll all the way down to 5. 5 is the amount you're reinvesting. 95 is what you're taking out. Let's calculate that at the same number. And you'll see down here, you've got 2 columns now. You've got your earnings, as we did before, month by month by month. We've got the reinvest percentage, which is not a lot of money. In other words, you're not really keen on growing your account. You're keen on getting your money back, which you did probably let's just do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. By the end of October, you have your $1,000 back if you did it this way. If you continued on this pattern, you'd take out $2,600, but you'd only be reinvesting 138. So you haven't had big capital appreciation in the account, but you put a lot more money in your wallet. Maybe what you do is you say, okay, once I got my $1,000 back, I'm happy with reinvesting a much bigger percentage. And let's say over time, let's say that you get your money back, and over time you say, okay, when I get to 2,000 again, I'm going to go to 50%. So you say, okay, let's look at that. Let's put this in at 50% and put in the principal balance of $2,000, and let's see what happens. Calculate. So 50% is going in your wallet, 50% is going into your reinvestment. Now all of a sudden, and again, you're again playing on the house's money. Your earnings this year were $10,000. You took out you reinvested $5,300. You took out cash out $5,300, and your account balance is now $7,314. Cool. What happens if you add another year in this equation? This is where things just get insane. Watch this. 2 years instead of 1. Calculate. You've got a $26,000 account value, started with $2,000, which was pure profit when you did it. This is how you start to really create wealth using this kind of a model. And you still, you've got money that you're putting in your wallet. Maybe you say, what does it look like if I go a little bit more reinvestment? I don't need to take that money out. What if I go 80% reinvest? Now, keep in mind right here, this was the number, 26K with 50-50. Let's say 80% reinvest, calculate. That's a pretty big jump. You get the idea. If you're reinvesting, you're taking advantage of compounding. So you took out 31, but you put in 125 over 2 years. So your account balance is now 127. Now, again, this is where things just get way crazy. Watch this. One more year. Calculate, and you've got $1 million. It's just mind-boggling the power of compound interest. And when this is just math. You can put your own assumptions in here. You can figure out your strategy. It's a very, very useful tool, but you get the idea. It's wicked powerful. That is compounding. And again, to start, only put money in you can afford to lose. Okay, that's very, very. Don Murray, another Irishman in the house. How are you? Good to have you here, Don. So that is compounding. So what I've shown you so far is copy trading, the solidity of the broker, how you get withdrawals out, and then how compounding, especially daily compounding, can be such a powerful idea. Now, I want to just quickly go over a quick little intermission here, which is our BAM fan book a meeting from a meeting. We'd be remiss in not doing that. Monday, our colleague, Robert Russell, does a fine job in his masterclass every Monday. This is intended for people that are already in or have just registered and are verifying. They want to get learn the ropes. This is the perfect place to learn the ropes. He and Tony go through what they call a masterclass, and it's back office training. It's how to get your Robo-Forex system and business working and plugged in. Tuesday, 9 a.m. UK time, yours truly is on deck. It's exactly like this one. This is a good one to put guests in front of. In other words, I will do exactly what I did today. You could bring guests to this one and be building your business if you choose to engage as an affiliate, which is optional. You don't have to. But if you choose to, you can do that. Then on Wednesday, Robert Russell is back in the driver's seat. He has a presentation, 8 p.m. UK time. And then on Saturday, we have this one, and we follow this one with a Q&A about how to get started, how to get plugged in, and so forth. We'll take a quick intermission after the Q&A, and then we can get into that. Let's see here. Also, if you're interested in going ahead or want more details, get together with the person that invited you here and get their link. Their link will be the starting of this whole process. You can register and verify for free. Takes a couple of days to verify, which is your ID, your email first, your ID second, and your address verification, and then you have to get some pictures of a Visa MasterCard blocking out the numbers and the CVV code. They just need to make sure that you are who you say you are. It's a KYC thing. But all those steps are pretty straightforward, and that's what Robert goes through on Monday. We also go through on this website right here, which is the team website. If you go over here, it's kind of a one-stop shop. You can go there and get presentations, get plugged into groups. You can get all of the information you need to get started. We have a Dropbox on there with all the files on it. And we also have a calendar on there that shares with you or people that you refer when we're having presentations. Now, into the affiliate part of this, and then we'll bring this in for a landing. The affiliate and partner program is just very straightforward. It's simple, it works. You can withdraw your money whenever you wish. You can either take it out and buy groceries or do whatever you want with your money, or you can add it to your compounding, or you can do some combination of the two. There's no payout limits, daily payouts, shoot, multiple times a day if you wish. No deal restrictions, no bonus restrictions, 24/7 support. By the way, with withdrawals, I'd be remiss in not saying this. To save money and not have to pay fees, if you do your withdrawal on the first or the third Tuesday of the month, there are no fees. So that's something that can be a nice thing to be aware of. How we earn money is really, you see 4 ways. There's actually 5. The first one is your own returns on your copy trading. In other words, you get some copy traders and you're getting a return on the money that they earn on your behalf. You pay them a fee, but you're only paying that fee if they earn profits for you. It comes out of the profit. And I realize I failed to mention that in the copy trading segment. I just forgot. But copy trading, when you're hiring a copy trader, either a human trader or a robot, they charge a fee for that service. And you have to look at that fee, and it varies, but I'll show you a typical example here in just a minute. Yeah, and it may be higher, maybe lower, but they're only charging that fee when they have earned a profit on your behalf. You also, as an affiliate, you earn a percentage of the people that you enroll as directs. When they earn a profit, that trader is splitting that profit with the affiliate and splitting it in some manner, sometimes 50-50, sometimes other percentages. So it varies from trader to trader. You also get paid on commissions that come in from the 5 levels. This is the broker commissions, the spread, and so forth. And this actually can be quite lucrative. And I'll show you an example here, or chat about an example here in just a minute. And then monthly, you're paid a bonus based on the earnings that you have earned from number 3. And I said there were 5. The other one is, if you know people that are manual traders and they're interested in earning money for themselves, one of the single best ways to increase the overall assets under management on your team is to get a really capable trader, because they will tend to attract people to them. If they're underneath you, you enroll them, they come in, they are manually trading, they're doing good things with trading. Your trading volume will go up. Robert Russell is a good example of this, because he's been doing this very thing, and he's got some numbers that are truly eye-opening. So there really is that 5th way. In other words, could you also be a copy trader yourself? Yes, if you aspire to do that. Now, completely optional. You don't have to do that at all. You know, if you want to just go fishing and have your money working when you're fishing, good on you. You know, if you're in a position to do that, you don't have to do the affiliate part at all. But if you choose to do that, or you choose to do copy trading yourself, you can have additional income streams coming in from them. Now, let me give you an example of a commission calculation. Let's say that you put in, this is after you've done all your testing and you're comfortable that this is something you want to really do. And let's say that you put in $5,000. And let's say that you choose a trader that has earned you a 23% return. And I am not representing that you're going to get 23%, as I said before. This is an example, and only that. May you get more? Yes. May you get less? Yes. It depends on the trader. It depends on the market. Nobody can control that. But for the purposes of our little math example here, you take your $5,000, you earn 23% in a month. That's an $1,150 gross profit. You've chosen a trader that says, I charge 30% of the profit. So you take your gross profit, multiply times 0.7. Here's your net. This is what you walk away with as far as the profit. That 805 gets added onto your $5,000. Now, next month, you're trading with 58.05. There is compounding in living color. Okay. Let's say that you have some friends that do the same thing. Whoops. Why did that do that? Come back here. Let's say you have 5 friends that do the same thing. 23% again, 57.50 in gross profit. Multiply that times 0.3. That's 725. The trader in this case says, I'll give you 50%. You're the affiliate. Trader gets 862, and ding, 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 you get 862 from that trader's trading with your clients that have enrolled underneath you. Now, this is a part, when I first saw this, I was kind of like, yeah, ho hum. You know, I wasn't really, the light didn't turn on. And Robert Russell kept telling me these numbers. He goes, this is what I earned today, man. I'm like, what? What? You know, I was kind of stunned. This is over 5 tiers. So you've got the people, your directs are here, then they put their directs here, they put their directs here, and so on, over 5 levels. And Robert, I'm going to ambush you here because this brings this point home. A week ago now, what was the date of that high watermark earnings of yours? And what was the number?
That day was last Saturday. It was the 20th, and the highest that I got was $1,050.
Okay, it's official. I hate you. $1,050 in one day.
Yeah. And this week was it was a good week again from that 5 levels deep.
Okay, come on. You can't tease us. What was it?
I think it was 650 this week.
Wow. Guys, here's what's so powerful. This is one component. This is not his own trading. This is not the trader split. This is just on the 5 tiers. This really got my attention because I like doing the networking stuff, and I intend to catch my Irish friend, or at least give him a race. You know, I mean, imagine he's just been at this a few months longer than I have, but anybody can do it. You don't have to have anything special. You just have to get people in front of a presentation. They start inviting friends, they get good results, and they'll tell people about it, just like they tell people about a good movie or a good restaurant. It's the same deal. And especially money, you know, hey man, I'm making money when I'm sitting on the couch. Really? How? Boom, invite them to a presentation. Nothing more than that. It's that simple. So thank you for that, Robert. And additionally, so if you earn between $100 and $500 in the plan that we just showed you, the 5-tier part of the plan, you get a 10% bonus, which happens the first of the month. If you earn between $500 and $30,000, that goes to 15%. So Robert's in this band right here, and he will get a nice bump at the beginning of the month. I am also in this band. I have a ways to go to even come close to catching him, but I'm going to give him a race. And then if you're over $30,000 in earnings, and you know, at his current clip, if he starts to get over 1,500 a day, he's over this number on 20 trading days. So, you know, there's a $6,000 monthly bonus. Not bad, better than a poke in the eye with a sharp stick. So that affiliate example I just cited with Robert is such a compelling thing to me because it's only one component of the plan. And this plan tends to get better and better and better as you bring people aboard. So what I've just shown you with the affiliate plan is it's simple, it works. You can add it to your trading account and compound it. You can withdraw it. It's your money. You can do as you wish. You can do whatever you want. I choose to actually add some of this to my accounts. In fact, most of it. And so it compounds further. So again, if you like what you saw and you're intrigued with this, get together right now, send a message to your introducer, to your referral person, to your sponsor, whatever term you want to use. And also be sure to get this website address because this is a site that nobody's links, nobody's information is on that site. It's simply a place where you can get all of the information about this business. And it gives you a 24/7 one-stop shop for all of the stuff you need to do to get plugged into our business. So I encourage you to use this site. We update the presentation on there regularly. We update the PDFs that help people get plugged in. All of the information necessary to get plugged in and to get moving is on that site. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and bring the stream